Smothered. Okay. So me and my mom, people think me and my mom are too close.
Because it's something that affects you. Because if something doesn't affect you, you have zero words to say about it. And I was like,
my social media got shut down because I was so involved with things.
Like in the middle of the night, I'll wake up, I'm like,
our star died. You know? And we all busted crying.
And don't be a fake friend. Don't be messy. Karma's real. Leave her alone just because her little vagina was out one time. Don't talk about her.
Next time you snort something, it might be meth.
Yeah. We talk about before they got here, and we went on like down rabbit holes, like
because I just made ADHD, sex work,
like quite literally all of it.
Yeah,
I talked about how I accidentally did meth one time.
Oh, I did
my God. No way!
Shut up, bro. Oh wait, hold the story. Hold the story.
This is a good story, man. Because it's like for real. I accidentally did it too.
Dude, okay, so
we're back. Full circle.
I finished my story and I'm like, you too, right? And she's like, I've never once ever. And I'm like, well, that's okay.
I was like,
I hope it never happens.
Try it. You should try it
just once. Dude, it was so bad. I was seeing fucking Slender Man, bro. Like, I was like,
yeah,
I was in my ex's trap house and I'm in his room and I just wanted to do a little drug, whatever. This was back in the day. Who cares, hypothetically? And I saw it on a little plate and I was like, okay, cool, whatever. And I do it. And just mere seconds later, I'm like, oh, ouch. That wasn't what I thought it was.
Hold on a second.
Literally everything's like, ooh, just like, yeah.
You're like,
that's not.
Missy Elliott, reverse it.
Yeah, flip it and reverse it. Exactly.
This was something else.
You're trying to go to sleep. You hear when you're looking at the fan on the ceiling, you can see every blade like
insane,
poof, poof, poof,
insane.
Because that's how like focused you are. You know,
crazy? You're like,
you guys. Now I want to do some meth.
Look,
this is an ad for meth.
I was literally hanging out with a doctor friend, and
we
gave
can
me
make
that.
it pink. So we can be like the competitors for the guy that makes
marketing.
it blue. No, I'm just kidding.
A little like bow on the back.
Sir, who sells it under the bridge, we're coming for your business.
I have a similar situation. There was a guy that I was dating.
God, everyone's accidentally done meth besides me.
You should try.
I feel so lucky now. I'm going to. And I will.
A white substance on his counter, and he used to disappear. He had some like white powder on his dresser, and you know the dresser is like conveniently high, right? And I see this white powder and I was like, and I looked at him and I was like, what is that? And he goes, oh, I was cleaning. It's Comet. You know that Comet cleaner? And I was like, oh, okay. And later that night I like went like this with my finger and then I tasted it and I was like, that's not Comet.
That's not Comet.
I
know what Comet tastes like.
First I had to go taste Comet, and then I was like, all right, this is not the same.
Something is not checking out.
Little beakers into your like
the others.
But yeah, then I realized I was like, okay, this is why he disappears. You ever date someone that's like a closet drug addict?
Oh, all the time.
Yeah,
always. All my exes.
All of
you. Glad you asked.
How, like, as women, we can sense when they leave, right?
Real quick story though about being psychic and catching your ex and some shit, because I want to go into our cheating stories too, because I know we had talked about that, and y'all have some good ones. I know we all do. I've been wanting to do like a cheaters episode, so I'm stoked.
Do it.
But one time I was sitting down just minding my business, literally like my ex was just out and about doing whatever, bopping around town like he does. I felt in my core of my soul this man was on some shit. He was doing something.
Always.
Come to find, I'm blowing him up, not answering, location services off, because of course we had each other's location, whatever, toxicity. And I'm like, oh, he's doing something. I blow him up. Then he answers, but on mute. I'm like, I know you muted yourself, motherfucker. Like, you're doing something. Then I hear him like, oh, thank you. And he's like running out of somewhere. I'm like, come to find out, he went to get a happy ending, bro. He went to get a fucking rub and tug.
God.
And
What?
Yeah, you have
thank you.
Beautiful sex doll right here. What are you
Right.
Dude,
ending for?
He's a weird fuck.
God, they are weird fucks.
It's the one that you know.
Ew,
And
I bet.
I'm like, and if you're
I wanna see a
listening,
picture.
you know who you are. Oh God, the receding hairline's
No, you don't.
it's a jump scare.
Yo,
Really?
I
Yeah.
wish we had
You'll be
that
so
story for the
disappointed.
book.
Really?
Yeah. And so
No,
That is
and now I need to
crazy.
see it.
I get him to admit it, and I'll tell you how.
Okay.
Because like he's like, Rebecca, I wasn't doing anything. Da da da. I'm like, no, you were. I know you were, and I'll tell
Weird
you how.
stuff.
I had a friend following you. I didn't. I was like, I was like, yeah,
Call his bluff, you know?
Yeah.
dude, and he's
Yo.
so dumb. Like,
Yeah,
so
guys are dumb as
stupid.
fuck.
I was like, if I like one time I convinced a guy that I was psychic and that I like knew shit and I would like predict shit, but really like I just knew from like going through his phone. And I'm like,
my God.
my God, that's amazing.
I'm like, the name Rachel is coming to my mind. The name Rachel, I think she's a bartender.
What did
and
he
like
say?
I had seen it in his phone that he was texting this girl.
What did he
Let me
say?
tell you this though.
He's like, he cried and admitted it. But
Let me tell you
yeah.
this. You were psychic enough
Mhm.
for your gut to tell you, look through his phone.
What?
The way that I went through his phone, bro, another trick of the trade for y'all, write this down. I put my fingerprint ID on his phone, an iPad. And the way that I did this is one time I was watching and like he unlocked with the code, but like guys change their codes. They're
Right.
fucking sneaky. So one time I hack like in with the code and then I go to his little settings and I add my fingerprint to like fingerprint ID so that never goes away. So even if they change the code,
I never
I've
go.
done that 100 times.
I've never.
I've
yep,
done, I've
I don't
done
go
that
through
100
phones.
times.
I don't do that.
I'm like, I'm not
shit
trying to
either.
ruin my day.
I've done that.
I don't want to
I
see
wouldn't
something
ruin
going
theirs.
on. You need to leave.
Well, I do that to my kid too. So like, you know, I've done that 100 times. You know, this is so funny. My ex-husband was into IT and he taught me one time how to remote into like computers. And he
we know how to hack?
Like you're gonna wish you
he
hadn't.
showed me, and then I like from that moment on, and like, man, I was like, dude, you showed me how to do this. Did you forget?
My dad's side is from Mexico and my mom's side is from Russia. So they're both very like superstitious.
Yeah.
And so for me, like I'm very intuitive. You know what I mean? I'll like feel shit like with him, you know, I'm like, I know this motherfucker's like on some shit. He's like, how the fuck did you know the second I walked
Because
in?
it's not
you
your
know.
first life.
Yeah.
It's not your
Because you
first
know.
life. You've lived plenty of lives.
Yeah.
You know, people like that are so like, duh. Like,
Yes,
yeah, that's their
stupid.
like first lives. Like you can see right through them.
Oh,
You
that's
know?
actually so
also too,
interesting.
when you, as females, when we love someone, we care about them. We become motherly.
You have an
And
energetic core.
when our
to-
motherly instincts start to work, we all of a sudden have this like protective, you know, intuition and instinct and these feelings and these emotions because we're connected to people. Our body's like, I gotta save his stupid ass because I don't know why I love him.
Real,
You know, because
real.
yeah, we have
Like,
that
I can fix
connection.
Yeah.
Men are just like, damn, we just fucked. That was good. I'm hungry.
Yeah, literally.
And then I'm gonna go to sleep.
Love
Yeah.
that.
I was hustling kids on the in school.
Making bracelets?
These are my young entrepreneurial adventures. No, actually, I was like, so my sister was a really great like artist, and I was like, oh, look at what I drew. My sister's 5 years older than me, so also I was a liar, and I was like, yeah, look what I drew, and he's like, and I was like, I'll sell you these like as an artist. I'm like, I'll sell you these 50 cents. So I said 50 cents, like let's go, and I'm like, oh, actually, and they're like, oh, okay, 50 cents. I'm like, cool, I'm going to get a pretzel at the student store. Can't wait. And then,
Jenner, your sister.
well, and then they're like, this girl, she's like, yeah, can you draw me like a monkey? And I was like, oh, can I? So I'm like, okay, my sister is going to like, I'll bring her in, I'll cut her in on the deal. Like she can have 10 cents of this
like,
for working. And so I present her the idea. She gets pissed at me. She's like, so you've been stealing my drawings. You sold them. Like now I don't
You're like,
have
first
them.
of all,
and
I
she was
bought
like,
them,
and she's
okay?
like, I'm not drawing you this monkey, and you're not allowed to like do this anymore. And I was like, well, I have customers, so this monkey needs to get drawn. So I'm like,
customers.
so I'm like, okay.
Damn.
So I'm like, okay, I have to draw this monkey, and the girl already like paid me too, and so I like have some art. I was like so young though, so I'm sitting all night drawing this monkey, blood, sweat, and tears into this, and so I take it to her the next day. The girl already saw my previous work, and she goes, I'm not paying for this.
Oh no.
She didn't like it. She said, I'm not paying for this. I want my money back.
You're like, you don't want this one-of-one abstract drawing? Like, please.
She said, I want my money back. And I said, that's not how that works.
Oh,
I didn't refund her.
Okay.
You're like, I want my
That's
time back
why-
for making this
Yeah.
for you, but I won't get
If
it.
you're
will I?
listening,
So, but
that's not how that works.
After that, the business got shut down.
So I started modeling before like Instagram and like Facebook days, like MySpace era, like
Oh,
when it
yeah.
was brand new. So
Wait,
like,
were you
2,000
like,
years old.
were you kind of like seen like in the MySpace?
hell
days?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I love
I
you
was
so
a
much,
scene girl, dude.
Hell, dude, you were probably like on my little like MySpace
give,
little
like
like.
tequila vibes.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
I was
tequila,
in the scene,
Jeffree
man.
Star.
Yeah.
Those are the
Oh,
OG
Yes,
MySpace.
that's exactly like I think actually we were probably like I was a friend of on MySpace with Jeffree Star, and that's how I first knew
that's
who that
fucking
was.
iconic.
Yeah, that's
you know?
crazy.
So that's why I was like, we in Houston and LA is so different, right? I was the first like tattooed OG model that in Houston that like came up.
That's crazy.
Everybody else was in LA.
Yeah.
So I traveled. I worked in LA back and forth all the time. That's how and then Chicago too, because Playboy. I was the first like tattooed model in Playboy.
That's awesome.
But I had to get in
So
there
cool.
by being like a bartender because I was a bad influence. That's what they told me.
Okay.
And I was like, I just have tattoos, like that's it. When anybody says like an influencer or you're just a model, like it's actually like a professional, like legit. Like I get
100%.
paid,
Hell yeah.
All these other girls, they get free t-shirts.
Oh no.
Do you know what I mean?
Dude, I do. It's
Me
like
too.
it's like the girls who like try to
I'm like,
brag about
yeah.
hanging with a celebrity. I'm like, they are never gonna talk to you again after that. You know what I mean?
No,
It's like,
yeah.
what do you take away from it? Meanwhile, like you said, you're out here making money, like modeling, like,
job.
doing
It's a
it.
job.
Me, I feel like you shouldn't be able to put it in your bio because it's always the bitches who are
Yeah.
getting paid that are like
Everyone-
model.
I'm like,
Yeah.
everyone, all of a
Let me
sudden,
see the
I'm like,
pay
so
stub.
you're a doctor now because you're an influencer? Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, what?
I am like, I think if you're gonna put your work in your bio, you should have to list all of your work in your bio, and not the ones that you don't even get
Oh
paid
my
for.
I'm like, you're a personal trainer because you got to be
That
Or
is
like
girl.
real
so
estate agent. I'm like,
true.
have you ever sold a house?
Yeah.
That's how you're making that
You
money.
can say anything you want on
God
the
damn it.
internet,
Bro, I'm gonna start making shit up in my bio.
Hell yeah,
honestly.
dude. Just
I was on season 5 of Smothered with my mom and
Hell yeah.
my now fiance Scott and my family. And I own med spas. And I'm
Hell
like
yeah.
the skin
Wait, what's the
tightening.
premise of the TLC show? Smothered?
So, yeah, Smothered.
Okay.
So me and my mom, people think me and my mom are too close.
Oh,
I don't know why.
I mean, what? But I don't see anything. I mean, maybe they're not close enough to their mom.
That's so yeah.
I mean, yeah, for real.
mean,
Like my mom's
definitely.
my best friend, you know?
Yeah.
Like
Oh, I
Now
cannot
at
relate.
older-
Checked out.
We don't talk to
And
her
my
mom.
older
Like, y'all are
relate
lucky.
to
Yeah,
to
that's
this
amazing.
conversation. I have nothing to add to that.
Like, if someone says something about it or like it being weird, they're probably just jealous.
Yeah,
If you ask
having a mom would be dope.
So me and Veronica met through the tattoo world years ago, but I was an OG fan of hers. Like I saw her. Yeah, and I remember when she was first in Playboy, I was watching this like video that she did, and it was so iconic. And I was like, damn, that girl is fucking dope. And I thought to myself, I wonder if she's like cool in person.
Yeah.
And I was super, super pregnant at the time. And she did this super hilarious, iconic thing. All these other bartender girls were like, this is my drink. And they're like, first you get a mango from the Netherlands. And then you get and then you get a lighter and you get this. And like, it was like, like they were like frozen drinks. And all. I'm like, dude, first of all, like the girls were doing the most and they were perfect little blonde.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you know, exactly when you close your eyes and you think of a Playboy bunny, like that's all the girls. And then
Like a
Veronica
Holly
comes out,
Madison.
and she's like, this is how to make my favorite drink. And she gets a shot glass. I don't know exactly
Jack
what
Daniels, and I'm
Iconic.
just like,
Like an icon.
She's
I
like,
love
hell
it.
yeah.
And I think I drank it out of a bottle actually on one interview.
Yeah. And she was like,
That's
this is how you do. And I was
Love
like,
that.
whoa. Like that was what stuck out to me.
Yeah.
Do you think she knew what all these other girls were going to get?
I'm a Texas
No,
girl, dude.
she just did her
Yeah.
thing.
That
She-
is so
she's like,
badass. Yeah.
fucking whiskey.
Flex.
Hell
Okay.
yeah. Hi, Julie.
Rebecca's friend. We actually don't remember how we met at all. We've tried to put things together. We've one day we were just friends. We had
I woke up
photos
and I was like, I
together.
like that girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I did a Netflix show though.
Familiar.
Yeah, it's called The Trust. It just came out in February.
Familiar.
Then
And she
okay,
won.
yeah,
I have to
social
watch.
media.
She
Well,
won
I
the
also, I
competition.
think you've been on.
No
yeah, I've been
way.
watching
Yeah.
this, so that's
Oh,
probably.
yeah.
I've been
I
on
think
here
I might
before. I did psychoanalysis of like celebrities and current events, and I got really big doing like I broke down like the Kardashians and
And Kylie Jenner
Yes.
responded, bro.
yeah, and then Kylie Jenner had like this big beef over like
Okay, before we leave, I
Balenciaga
have
and
to
all
like
that
follow
shit.
everything.
Yeah.
So cool.
Whoa.
Yeah,
So
Kylie
cool.
Jenner responded to her and was
What?
like, yeah.
It's like, this is why I don't do this. So I like made a little joke. I was like, it was during the Balenciaga scandal. And then
Yeah.
they finally, like, she
I
finally
remember that.
posted pictures of her son, which she hadn't. She's like, I'll never like talk about him. And I was like, oh, Kris Jenner telling her kids to release the good photos.
For real.
And she responded to on my video and
Because
she
it
was all
pushed
like,
her button.
and she was like, this is why I don't post stuff like this. And then so I did a response video and I'm like, sure, I get that it's frustrating. And because that sent thousands of people, like millions. That video had like millions of views. Then the news picked it up, like every news outlet picked it up. And I was like, do you see what your like one sentence could do and the power you could have, but instead you're using that to comment on my video because it's something that affects you. Because if something doesn't affect you, you have 0 words to say about it. And I was like, kind of just like how you didn't ever say anything about Astro World, and you still haven't said anything.
Yeah.
And that was my response. So then both of those, like, that all went viral. But I had a lot of people who hated me for that.
A company called Caps, Krishan Frazier and his homies started this company. They're going after predators in Houston.
Yeah.
So
Dude, he catches so many.
I messaged you and I was like, look, I gotta send you these videos. He's literally, they're like out there catching people.
Yo, it's like
insane.
That's so cool.
Can I be Chris Hansen, please? Just one time.
Look,
one time I want to walk in and be like,
as soon as this finishes,
take a seat.
I need to connect you guys because I was like, look, y'all need to get with people because my social media got shut down because I was so involved with things and I was.
Of course it did. They always like shadow ban.
Those videos of mine like ended up getting like censored and taken down. And then this stupid video.
I was doing a lot of work with our rescue, and honestly, like I had to stop how much power people have in the things that they say, and how they could use that. It's like,
and you're using it to like because your feelings got hurt to comment on some bitch's like random video.
Because
like,
look, because they didn't grow up like we did. You know what I mean? They got so
they don't have to care. Like she doesn't have to care about these. Like,
she doesn't understand.
They were never at
risk.
Last thing about I want to be a fucking bounty hunter, bro.
I know.
Oh, me too.
Like nothing more, bro. Like
dog the
imagine.
You know what you could do?
Fucking Dog the Bounty Hunter, dude. I wanted to be Beth so
you
bad.
could be the bait.
Dude,
you could be the bait girl to like walk up to the
yeah.
guys and pretend to be like the 15-year-old girl.
Hey,
I'm
young as
I'm here. Can you meet me outside? And then the camera is like,
I'm like, what?
just put on like a Hello Kitty outfit.
I'm lost. Guys, hello. Just kidding. Where's that? Is this the way to the JoJo Siwa concert?
You have to like walk up like skipping.
throw me under an underpass with a pogo stick or some shit. I'm like, hello.
You're like playing Monopoly like in the middle of the street. They're like, that's weird. Kids don't really do this. I thought she was 16.
Like, in all seriousness, I want to be involved in any capacity, like just for the cause, but like also if I can also be a bounty hunter simultaneously.
Using
I would love
your
that
platform to do something good.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Would you
look at that?
It's almost as if we grew up actually in danger of these things, unlike someone who was sheltered. When you were doing that, though, because I have a few more questions. I'm really intrigued by this. Were you like, how are they catching these people? Because they're still doing it, right? And how do they catch them?
So from what I have seen, what they're doing, they are using social media and they're baiting these guys. And they're filming some of them, so you get to see, and they're exposing them. They're putting their names out there,
dude.
They're exposing them. This is happening. Houston is the portal right now.
Houston,
we keep our our circle close. You know, like we don't have friends. That's for a reason. Who trusts anybody?
Real.
You know what I mean?
You can't.
What are y'all like? Do y'all have like a big group of friends? Do y'all have a small amount of friends? Like,
I have acquaintances.
Yeah,
I have like a very small group of people I really trust.
Absolutely.
And even right now, there's one I'm about to exile.
Social circle, but there's only a couple like who I tell things about me.
Yeah.
Like,
like
there's like 4.
Like personal.
Because you can trust them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
You
ever have a friend that's just like a default friend and you're not really sure why they're even a part of your life, but they're just like, yeah, we're friends.
Yep.
But then they do something that they don't even really do something to you, and you're like, you know what, actually I have friends.
Yeah.
And that's not you.
But women
that's
are
me
so empathetic.
right fucking now.
So
that's not you.
Literally me right now.
We want to help you. Sorry. We want to help you.
Yeah.
But you can't always do that. You can't always help everybody.
Yeah. One thing I will say,
Y'all are
nor should we.
This is going on with me right now.
that
That's crazy.
person that you have to exile,
I'm about to cry. I'm like, damn.
light that match. Light that
I feel
match
that.
and burn that bridge. Because if you don't burn that bridge right now, you will try to cross it again later. Like
What
are you going
some
through right
bridges
now?
are there to be burned.
Because I think I'm like, y'all really might
the
be
root
psychic.
word of the word side. Like decide is literally the root word side is to cut off all options. So you think about like suicide, decide. So when you're actually truly making a decision and you are deciding something, all options like should be cut off.
Yeah.
Decide to let this person go.
Yes.
So all my friends
homicide.
right now are they've told me for years they're like, this person's like a leech, like they're using you, like they're just like sucking onto like your energy in your life and whatever. And then things have happened. Like I've never really been like in a time where I was like down bad so mentally that like I try to not like talk about shit. I don't, whatever. That's a story for another day.
Yeah.
But like very recently I was like, hey dude, like, you know what? Like I'm kind of down bad with this, like da-da-da. And I'd always been there for this person. And the more I think about it and the more my friends tell me, like, not that I need anyone to do anything for me, but she had never done shit for me.
Right.
And so recently I asked for one very small thing, like as a friend, and she's like, no. And I was like,
Yeah.
Excuse me.
I was like, what? Like, I've never asked you for one thing. I've been there for you when I'm up, when I'm down,
yeah.
like I've anything.
Yep.
And the more I thought about it, I'm like, dude, she's actually never done that for me.
Yeah.
And my
So
friends
now,
Yeah.
don't worry.
I know.
Don't cut her off.
I'm in a good
Yeah.
place right now with all my friends, but like last year I went through some like friendship betrayals, and I remember saying, I'm like, not only were we friends, I'm like, I was a good friend to her.
Thank you.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, I held this girl
And
while
you
she
did this to
cried, and
me?
like, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm like,
how-
I wouldn't do that shit to my enemy.
Thank
And like, and I was your
Absolute-
friend,
yes.
and I was a good friend.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who does that?
Well, there's
Yep.
those friends
Evil
too.
people.
How could
Evil.
Evil.
Mhm.
Same.
I'm like, she knows everything
out to
about
my
my
mom.
life, but like what do I actually know about her? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I'm like, she'll give me like little details
Right.
enough.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, damn, after all these years, what the fuck do I actually know?
Right.
And she
That's
knows
why
every
I like
last
to dig
detail. I'm
deep.
like,
Mhm.
holy shit. And I thought I was, but then the more like my friends are like, Rebecca, you don't know jack shit really about this. And I'm like, oh my God. And this was like in the past few days. So it's crazy that y'all are like
Yeah.
saying this because it resonates so much.
See, this is why we're
Like,
here.
Mhm.
Yeah. On everything happens for a
That's
reason.
true.
Yeah,
Us too.
you feel stupid.
There-
You know,
A
you're like,
little.
how,
I'm
how
like, yeah.
dare I think that you were cool? Like,
yeah.
Oh yeah.
There's still grief. Like, there's
also
grief
like
Yeah.
when
with
it's
people not
draining-
being who you
when
want
it's
them to
draining
be.
to you,
when that happens.
it
Yeah.
starts to stain your life, and it
Mhm.
really does start to pull you back. And there's two types of friendships, and there's water and there's food. Food goes bad,
Yeah.
and when it goes bad, you gotta fucking toss it. You
Mhm.
can't eat that shit. Water, it doesn't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
And I like
she's
to,
always gonna be water to me.
I like to think everything still like serves a purpose though, you know, because like I was with like a really toxic man, and had that person
Mhm.
not been like with me at the time, like it would have been a lot harder to get away from that dude without someone who was there, even if it wasn't like the most real friendship, you know.
yeah.
It still helped me get out of something really bad. So I will take it for what it's
Yeah.
worth,
Mhm.
but also knowing now, like, okay, like that's it. But you have a book, you're coming out with a second book.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
Let's touch on that a little bit. And
Gosh,
it's,
yeah.
dude, yeah, it's
Hear about
topics
it.
that we all resonate with too.
So basically, our first book is.
Wait, you wrote it together?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Got
We
it. I
we
love
have a
this.
we also have another girl named Charlie. She's our editor, and
Okay.
she also had stories too.
Mhm.
You know, so we all put our stories together, and
Yeah,
we
what's
just
the
made
premise of it?
dating disasters.
Oh, I love
so
that.
each chapter is a different guy,
Shit.
right?
I love it.
And
Oh,
it's not
cool.
all of just mine, you know. It's-
Yeah.
I'm on the cover and it says Veronica Gomez, right? But it's hers and Charlie's, you know. So
Mhm.
we we're a group,
Yeah,
we're a
we're-
team.
That's awesome.
A
Yeah.
bunch of
And so this is about dating
silly
crazy
gooses.
guys, right?
Yeah.
Okay, the next
Relatable.
book is going to be about dating crazy girls. So all of the guys are going to go on our podcast, and we're going to interview them, and then we're going to also write down what they're saying, like bullet points, and then make a story about it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I texted you last night, or I was like,
Oh,
I'm like,
yes.
everyone's just falling into like,
Yeah.
I go, I've truly outdone myself with this plot. Some of my best work yet. The chess pieces have been set up slowly, but
Can we be on
perfectly,
a
and
group
all
chat together?
characters,
Fuck
so
yeah.
all
I would
characters
love
have played
that.
their parts exactly as planned. That's my favorite.
No, we
I like,
we
I'll
need
do the
to.
long term thing, and like, I currently in one, and I'm like, I'm like at the checkmate point, and I like woke up yesterday, and I was just like grinning.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
like
You're just
everything I
grinning,
did,
just
I'm
like,
like,
That's what I
Love it.
my enemies have fallen.
There you go. That's what
Yeah.
you get for being a piece of shit. All right.
Dude, karma, it always comes, whether it's
Yo,
a
I love that.
I do.
Look, you know how like I feel like you and I are like, so some girls are like, I'm gonna text him, or that's it, I'm doing this, and I'm like, oh no, I do some work in here, and I'm like, here's what I'm gonna
like
do.
I like my
I'm like-
note section is insane.
Oh,
Oh
me
my
too.
like literally, I'm
You're
like
just talking about
type
that.
everything out.
I know.
no, literally, I'm like,
I was like, what are their deepest insecurities? Let me
Yes!
like, right? I'm like, oh, so that does, and then
like a Venn diagram.
slowly
right,
do it
and I
as-
like have a whole like freaking
whiteboard. Like,
and it's best to start
okay,
leaking
so-
that as they love, like when they love you, and then it's like
Absolutely.
you're really setting it up.
Absolutely.
You don't just wait. I like will save screenshots, and I'm like, if they ever,
Mhm.
and I'm like, and I
Little
I
folder.
finally got to like release some. recently, and I was like, oh, I've been,
Damn, you didn't write a
I've been,
book.
and I'm like, and I was patient. I'm like, the way I wanted to send it when I first found out, but I
love
didn't.
that.
I saved it.
dude,
I
yeah.
sat on
That's
it
what I
until
did.
Dave
Yo,
pissed me off.
I
and
had-
was like,
yeah.
I
What
said,
sign
this
are
you? Gemini.
Oh, you're my mom. Yeah, that's why I love you.
Gemini.
She's like,
But
she's
I'm
like,
a
I'm
Virgo
gonna put a
rising.
pin in this.
Oh, yeah.
Gemini sun.
And I'm
Virgo
gonna save
rising.
this later. You're like, I've been
Taurus
holding on.
Bro,
to
one
this.
time I found my ex on back pages. He was
like,
literally
it's my
getting
time to shine.
my ex was getting hookers on back pages. Do y'all know what that is?
Yes,
Yeah,
I know what that
I'm
is.
like, a lot of people are like, what's a back page? But no, he was literally on
You're like,
there.
I thought he was auditioning for the Astros.
I thought he was looking for like a chair for his living room on Craigslist. I don't know. No, dude. And so he's on there. And I remember I found it and he was sleeping next to me. I was like, I'm going to save this for later.
Yeah.
I'm going to screenshot this. I'm going to put it in a little file in a
Patience.
folder. And then one time he got mad at me for something. I was like, oh, well, that's funny. You're mad at me because what about this? And I sent it to him and he's like,
how'd
you find it? I'm like, I've had this for
We're all on the
months.
same
The
level
same
with this.
shit, right?
Patience.
How do you like that?
I'm like, what about this? And this, he's like,
Yep.
how do you? I'm like, I don't know.
I
know.
wish.
I just literally
I just sent a
repeated what
screenshot.
you did.
I said, "This you?"
And he's like,
I've never done that. I'm like, let me pull out my screenshot.
I'm like, well, just pulls out my little like laptop.
Yeah,
I'm
never
like,
done. I got records, baby. Records.
Interesting.
the receipts.
I just print them out and I hang them on my wall. Like,
Oh.
Like, you're like,
Laminate
oh my
them
God,
like
live
crazy.
photo
Yeah,
here.
actually.
Runs to Kinko's, laminates it. I'm like,
Well, you did it
You're like,
then.
here's the
on our
So
way
many.
on our way up here, like not here, but like on the drive here from Houston. She has so many ideas. It was like overwhelming to me. I was like, I'm
You're getting
trying to drive her.
downloads.
I love
I
that.
need,
I feel like that's
yeah,
me too, though.
I need
yeah.
like
Like,
a
I'm a
freaking like
listener,
lion
so-
tranquilizer just to
I'm
like,
gonna shoot.
just calm down. I'm like, oh, okay.
I'm gonna
anyways.
shoot a dart at her next time,
Dude, I'm the same way. Like my notes are crazy too. They're psychotic. Like middle of the night, I'll wake up. I'm like, I'm like a
Yeah.
cycling class, but they play
That
emo
means
music
you've
and this and that. I'm like, yeah,
That
That's
means you've
good.
had
That's
a lot
a
of
that's a
lives.
download.
yeah. I feel like you have to.
Michael
but it's
Jackson would do that. He would like wake up. If he would wake up at like 3 a.m. or
Yes.
whatever, he'd be like,
The
I have
witching
to go to
hour
the
is 3 a.m.
studio. And they'd be like, no, like Michael, we can do it tomorrow. And he'd be all like, if I don't do it,
It's
his
gone.
belief is that
Selena did that.
yeah, she's from my
um,
hometown.
that the ideas are out there. Like so.
Corpus Christi.
This is
Yeah, I
also
love-
why when you get an idea about something and then you're like, oh, that was my idea, and you see it, it's because that was that idea's time to
We
be
have
there.
to
She
do it
snuck
now.
into
Yeah,
the
meant to.
studio.
We have to do it
She
now.
went into the studio and she recorded that by herself right before she died. If she didn't get up
shit.
and do that, that
That was not
dreaming
for no
of you would
reason.
not be
Yeah.
a thing.
She wanted to.
So that
tell
creative
them-
I didn't even
mind-
know that.
Yeah.
Mhm,
You
that
have
creative
to.
mind.
Damn, I'm like the way you know
It
more
is.
facts, and I'm from Corpus. Like I'm like I've never
Oh,
heard that.
I cry every day for Selena.
Me too.
Every
I listen to her
every
all the time.
single day.
yeah.
Have
Have y'all seen the new
where
documentary?
Where
Yeah.
were y'all
It's crazy.
when Selena died?
I was real young, but my
How
family was like devastated. Well, I was in Corpus, like where it happened. So, but I was too
Did
young.
you hear it
to,
on the radio?
I was too young to remember.
Man, I was
But
in a
my-
trailer park at a birthday party.
Oh shit.
And we were eating nachos, right? Because we were fucking Mexican. And we were outside playing, and we heard on the radio, breaking news. And
Oh
all of us girls
I don't
were
even remember.
tiny, right? We're little kids.
yeah.
You know, our star died, you
Yeah,
know?
dude.
And we all busted crying, like
Yeah.
busted out crying.
Wow.
So
That was
yeah.
like the worst day.
I didn't
ever.
think about this, but like I was watching that new documentary. It's like Selena and Yolanda. Dude, I'll tell you this. Yolanda's family's got some fucking receipts. She still killed Selena, still fuck her.
Yeah.
But I was like, damn, they spent all these years just trying to get like receipts for her. I'm like, that's a loyal ass family. I'll give them that. But it's insane. Like, recommend it, but it's fucking
You know,
sad.
I don't think I could
I
watch it. I'm
can't-
gonna get pissed off.
The
Yeah.
fact that woman is walking around today.
She murdered somebody. It doesn't matter.
How has
Yeah.
she been killed in prison? I'm
That's what I
wondering
said.
that.
I'll kill her.
Yeah,
Dude,
I'm
I was in prison.
surprised.
I would fucking.
I can't.
Yeah,
Corpus
I'm
is
surprised.
so like, dude, my hometown is so, it's great, but it's so fucking hood. And like, there's
I
people,
love it, though.
there's
I mean,
people
we're
on,
from Houston, baby.
there's people on the news. They're interviewing people because she's up for parole in a year. Yolanda is, and they're interviewing
Oh.
people, and it's this older
I did not know
lady,
how
like
she
this
didn't
older
get murdered
Mexican
in
lady. And she's
jail.
like, "I'll tell you what, when she gets out, she better not find me like on the news."
Yeah.
I'm like, shit. Like if she gets,
Ooh.
yeah,
I
dude.
thought she was out.
No, she's up for parole in a year.
Okay, so I thought she was
being
out.
filmed
Yeah, in jail.
Yeah.
Okay, so at least she's still there, but I'm.
But how has no one killed her in jail? That's what I want to know.
I don't-
'cause people ride for Selena.
I don't
There's
like
more
the whole
gangs, I don't know,
situation,
in
but
men's jails.
Do you think Yolanda Saldivar
the
joined
Mexican
a prison
mafia is
gang?
there? But I don't know if
There's-
women.
I don't understand.
I don't think
because-
any gang would want her. Mexican
Dude,
mafia wouldn't want Yolanda.
what?
No, they. I'm surprised they didn't have someone kill her, like come in
mhm.
and kill her.
Yeah.
Right.
Imagine maybe like to protect herself. I'm just still on this in prison. I'm like, maybe Yolanda had to join like white supremacist gangs because no one else wanted her.
I think she's
Like, what if
probably
she, like,
the
had to
best
be, like,
thing
a
for her
skinhead?
would be in
Funniest-
seclusion because there's a lot of Latinas and Black ladies.
Yeah.
dude.
You know,
Those
a
are
lot
some
of
I'm like, I
guys.
got cousins in
And-
there.
yeah.
like,
Like
yeah.
who everybody hates Yolanda.
yeah.
I couldn't breathe. Like towards the end, I mean, I was crying during the whole thing, and I couldn't breathe. And Scott's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "She dies,
Dude.
She fucking dies, Scott." I was like,
So Scott's just like,
hysterical. and I know what's gonna happen.
I don't know
But
what's going on.
Selena dies every day for me. Every
Yeah.
day
It's
for
fucked
me.
up.
but you know
Like,
what's
it's
crazy? She's still
like-
alive.
yeah.
Right. You know what?
She's still alive.
Thank you for saying that. Thank you
What
for
do you
saying that.
mean?
She's reborn
Selena's
every
still
day
alive.
for me. But
Everybody
it's
talks
like,
about her every day.
Yeah.
I hear her
facts.
music and I'm just like, ugh, like he's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "But I know what's gonna happen."
Dude,
You
yeah.
know, like,
And you like hope it
it's
does it.
hard.
Like even the new documentary I was watching, and I'm like, you
Your
know, but like it's
brain-
still the suspense. You're like, oh, but what if like, but she's already like, you know,
Your brain
Yeah.
doesn't know the
She's here,
difference
though.
of it already
Yeah.
happened or it's happening again because
sure.
you relive those moments.
yeah,
That's
dude.
what trauma is. It stays alive
Yeah.
forever up here.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. They were saying like she had just gone to like the Latin Grammys or something, and then also like the Grammys, and she was like the first like Latina artist, especially being from Corpus. And that's why so many people down there were upset. Aside from just her dying, they were like, that was like the representation.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it
She was the
wasn't-
one.
Yeah.
She-
I have like an ex from Corpus coming on. He's like all face tats and shit. He's coming on
What?
next week. And
Oh, ask
I'm
him.
gonna ask him. That's like the
That
first
sounds
question
so
I'm gonna
tough.
ask.
Okay,
Sounds
well-
like, wow, he sounds hot.
Yeah, I know.
Do you want to see a pic?
Yes.
Real quick? He's
Yeah.
toxic.
Let's see what he
I
names
bet.
it. And if he says Shy
Hate him
Town,
already.
Yeah.
you owe me $1.
100%. 100%.
I responded. I was like,
Oh
he's got
my
that dog in
God.
him.
Yeah.
I know. I'm like,
so hot.
oh, it's the one I showed you.
Ugh.
Literally break my fucking spine and shatter it to a million pieces. But he has like face tats now. But like, yeah, this is an older one. I'll have plenty more stories next time, guys. And I'm
Yeah.
so fucking stoked that y'all came on. This was, I think this is my favorite podcast that I've
I
done.
just like, I'm like, I feel at home. I was about to like lay down. and
Yeah.
shit.
God, let's-
Can we just
I
move
had
in?
to-
like, don't mind me. I'm just gonna give myself a J show real quick.
I love you guys. Thank you for coming on. Y'all are literally amazing. You'll be
I was
back
like,
on
I don't
very
even
soon.
remember what we talked about.
Yeah.
I blacked
I
out
know.
during
I
the
blacked
interview, so-
out.
It was phenomenal. Like this, this is without a doubt like my favorite one thus far.
Oh
so
my
we're gonna do
God.
this like a million
I'm
more
excited.
times.
I
Yeah.
lost it.
In conclusion, don't be a fake friend. Don't be messy. Karma's real. Leave her alone just because her little vagina was out one time. Don't talk
Next
about
time
her.
you snort something, it might be meth.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Love you guys so much. Until next time. Bye.